Alright, so today we're going to be reacting to rating Gacha games free-to-play friendly from worst to best. Popular Gacha guy. Anyway, whatever. I'm not about to read the whole title. We about to get right into it. By the way, I really hope that he have Arknight in here.
Hi, welcome back. We all know gacha games are predatory.
And yes, I started playing Arknight recently. You got a problem with it?
Everybody who plays them has an insanely toxic love-hate relationship with them. People usually play games to de-stress and as entertainment, but most gacha games bring stress to everybody involved, mostly psychological to F2P players and very financial to those who spend money. I've said this before and I will say it again. When you play gacha games, the only 100% rate is that you will get shafted. But some games do that less than others, so which games are the most F2P player friendly? From having a lot of rewards to a forgiving gacha system, today we're going to look through a bunch of games and rank them from worst to best in terms of F2P.
I see Arknight right there. Okay, bet. I also see Genshin, Fate Grand Order, Honkai Star Road, Wuthering Waves, Battle Cats, Punishing Great Raving, Zenless Zero, and that is Dokkan Battle. It's really not that hard to predict these, bro. I play too many gacha games.
Player friendliness. But before we get started, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And join the
yes, guys, make sure you subscribe to this man, by the way. I hear stuff will be at the end. But also subscribe to me. You already here, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on twitch.tv/gbs_Playz.
Especially in Discord server for a fun and lovely community to hang out with. Also, thank you very much for 7,000 subscribers. I really appreciate every single one of
there you go. Moon on Cafe. Y'all got it right there.
you. So I am planning on doing a giveaway when we reach the big 10,000, so make sure to subscribe. Now let's get on to it. Well, we always gotta start these lists off with the rules. I'm going to take the most memorable and popular gacha games, but I'm not going to take too many because I'm just one guy and I haven't played every single gacha game. I'm going to take into consideration a few attributes. Endgame accessibility, which is what kind of investments F2P players need to reasonably beat the endgame content in the game, either PvP or PvE. This will include talking about power creep and HP inflation, so HSR players, get ready. Developer generosity, which is the free or collectible rewards the game gives out, collectible meaning you have to do something for them like exploration or farming events. Player maintenance, which is the amount of daily time investment the players need to stay on top of the content in the game without falling into any FOMO tactics like very limited events or banners. And probably most importantly, the quality of the gacha system. The rates, the pity systems, and all that cool gambling stuff. So, let's start. The list will be in order from worst to best, and the first game we'll be looking at is Dragon Ball Legends. Well, just like every other video about any other gacha topic I've ever made, Dragon Ball Legends is at the very bottom. Well, to make a long story short, Dragon Ball Legends is a PvP gacha game that has tons of power creep, but to be fair, the devs did address it. Still not fixed, but at least it's a house somewhere. With a gacha system that has no pity where it actually matters in Ultra and LF banners, a 0.35% chance for Ultra units and a 0.25% chance for LF units. So, let's take it from the very top. Like we said, it's a PvP gacha game with tons of power creep. Character copies in this game are also pretty powerful, unlocking some of the true potential of many units. Well, with a literally, non-figuratively, non-existent pity system and a very low chance for higher rarity units, it's unforgiving for both whales and F2P.
See, I never actually played Dokkan Battle, so I wouldn't know. Out of all the years of playing Gacha, all the times I heard about this game, never decided to look it up once because I really don't care about that much. I really don't care that much about Dragon Ball Z. I'll be honest with you guys, okay? I'll be honest. I'll be real. I was a Naruto fanboy, bro. Naruto to the day go down.
Players alike, but it does not remove the advantage of whales when it comes to character copies, because they still have more pulls than you. Endgame accessibility for F2P players is garbage, but to be fair, a lot of skill is involved. A skilled enough F2P player will be able to beat even the whalest of whales, but if we're being realistic for a moment, for the average F2P player, it's very inaccessible and those whales will dog walk you. When it comes to generosity, there are actually quite a few F2P pulls to be collected. When you log in every day for a while, you can get quite a lot of CC, which is the in-game currency, which should help you with how terrible the gacha system is. However, a lot of this CC is pretty hard to get. Just because it's there doesn't mean you can get all of it. All in all, Dragon Ball Legends is pretty goddamn predatory simply because of their gacha system and endgame accessibility, but at least for F2P players they do give the opportunity to get quite a lot of pulls. Although like we said, it's pretty hard to get, so it fails quite spectacularly in the player maintenance department. So I would give Dragon Ball Legends 2 ratings actually, one for strictly PvE players and another for those who play PvP as well. I'll give it 2 out of 10 on the F2P friendliness scale for everyone who wants to enjoy PvP content. The biggest problems is the lack of accessible CC and the tons of whales that will make your life a living hell. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 for those who want to strictly play PvE. It's just that gacha system that's holding it
Dang, man, didn't even give it a 5 at least.
back terribly. All in all, I really wouldn't touch
Let me know
Dragon
y'all
Ball
agree with
Legends
this
unless
down
I'm a
in the
huge Dragon Ball fan.
Mellow.
I mean, even then, you should play Dokkan Battle instead. The next game on the list is going to be Genshin Impact. You're probably not surprised seeing it this low. Genshin's gacha system isn't the worst thing in existence. It's got a 0.6 chance for a 5-star unit with 90 heart pity and a 50-50 mechanic, or 80 pity and a dual weapon 50-50 mechanic for their weapon banner. It's definitely one of the worst of the modern age gacha games, but it's not really the worst of all time. I can name many games that have a worse gacha system than it.
Summoner's War? Did I just see Summoner's War up there? Excuse me? He ain't lying.
Including one that is actually higher up on the list. However, where Genshin truly fails is in its latest years. It seems they really revved up the stupidity and greediness, because not only did they break their own rules and put 2 new banners that are best in slot to each other in the same time slot.
Bro, I'm telling you, I will go down on this hill. They started it, but every other game copied it. Like Wuwa starting to do it. ZZ obviously all the other Hoyo games are going to do it as well. But like Wuwa is doing it as well. Okay.
But they also ramped up their power creep and HP inflation to a ridiculous degree. Seems Hoyo's teams are taking lessons from each other, unfortunately. Older characters are now much weaker, and while Genshin is slightly skill-based, allowing some players to still be able to beat the content if they try hard enough, for most players, the changes in the endgame content got pretty bad. Also, it wouldn't be a Moose on Caffeine video without mentioning how much a piece of dog shit Genshin Impact and its endgame content is. So anyway, it has an okay gacha system, endgame accessibility that has become...
I have never actually completed the Spiral Abyss. I think I actually did once, but like, bro, I'm not too hardcore enough to play that game like that, bro. Oh my gosh, like it's either you just get the characters they want you to get with the Eidolons or whatever it's called, and then you just do it like that, or you just fail.
Becoming worse and worse. But what about player maintenance and generosity? Well, when it comes to generosity, Genshin Impact is pretty f***ing infamous for really cucking its player base at every opportunity. The average patch gives out somewhere around 50 to 60 intertwined fates, which means you can only guarantee a 5-star unit once every...
By the way, which is the same amount as $100. I don't want to let that be known. Like, they literally give you 7 more pulls than the $100 pack in the thing. Like, so free-to-play players, they used to waste all this time just to get something that somebody could just spend $100 to get the same amount in like 2 seconds. By the way, I just want to let that be known, because the $100 pack is actually 50 pulls, I believe, because it doesn't even give you the whole 80 unless it's like a double event, right? But if it's not, I think it gives you like 50 pulls, which you got to come up with 30 on your own, which makes no sense to me. I think if it's $100, it should give you a guarantee, but you know, people just never said anything about that, and I don't know why.
Every 3 average patches. Special patches don't give much more, at around 80 per special patch. When it comes to player maintenance, it's actually pretty damn simple to maintain the upkeep of your account when it comes to daily quests and artifact farming. However, to collect all the primo gems that are actually available through exploration, it's pretty goddamn time consuming, and you may as well spend a whole week on just one region. Story quests also take quite a bunch of time that could have been useful to spend elsewhere, like on another game. I'd give Genshin Impact a 5 out of 10 on the F2P friendliness scale. A lot of people in this game are actually casual players, so the only thing they truly care about is getting a new unit every once in a while, and that's perfectly fine. But for anybody looking for anything more than that, please don't play Genshin Impact. The next game on the list is Fate Grand Order. Some of you who watch my video about rating gacha rates may have expected it lower than Genshin, but actually, its gacha system and dev generosity are basically the only bad things about this game. The gacha system is as follows: a 0.8% chance for a limited 5-star servant with a whole ass 330 pity. Now that's like twice as bad as Genshin to guarantee your favorite 5-star, but it's gonna get worse. The devs in this game barely give out any currency to F2P players. This game gives out so little currency that you're only guaranteed around 2.5 SSR units every single year. In Genshin, you're guaranteed around 4 or 5 or 6.
What? 2.5 every year? Okay, somebody let me know, why do people play this game? Like, why is this game still popular? Why is it still up? Like, why do people still like playing this? It gotta be sunk cost fallacy, bro. It's sunk cost fallacy. They spent so much time / and or money that they just can't stop. It got it. That's how it is. That's what it is. It gotta be that
6 per year.
No way it's not.
Now, mathematical averages say you'll get a 5-star in FGO every 100 pulls, but let us stick to guarantees here. So, why is this game in front of Genshin at all? At first, it seems like it should be all the way down with DBL. Well, player maintenance and endgame accessibility in this game are great. There's little to no power creep, and you can beat the whole game with even 1- and 2-star units. You obviously will have a few 5-star units, so it's even easier for everybody. Units are very similar to each other in power, so the only reason one would want to pull any unit is for collection purposes or to min-max a team for their favorite units. For collectors, this game is absolutely garbage. The gacha rates are awful, and I'm
a collector. which means I'm not playing it. I actually wanted to try it out at one point. Let me know down in the comment section if I should actually just take the bullet.
Get no currency. For people who just want to play the content the game has, like the end game and the story, this game is pretty much perfect. So, it still has garbage rates and rewards, but it's good on everything else. I'll give FGO a 5.5 out of 10. The next game on the list is Honkai Star Rail. Now, I was going to put this game right next to Genshin Impact, but after...
No. It is not as bad as FGO, okay?
Consideration, FGO is worse for F2P players, since Honkai Star Rail does give out a few freebies here and there that are very worth it, like Doctor Ratio back.
I would never regret that how much I spent on Sparkle, but okay, to a point I kind of do.
Back when he was actually useful, the free Ron Main Blade, and the free Archer, which is one of the best units in the game currently, but unfortunately they did completely ruin the fake collapse story. You also get quite a few pulls every patch, with the average for normal patches being 100 to 120. With the gacha system similar to Genshin, you can guarantee a 5-star around once every 1.5 patches. The weapon banner is a lot better though, only having one weapon on each banner and 75-25 instead of a full-on 50-50, as well as a 0.8% chance for a 5-star instead of a 0.6 chance. Player maintenance in Honkai Star Rail is pretty simple, just log in daily and press the fun button. Events are also usually pretty simple to do, even if they have become a little boring. One thing to criticize about Honkai Star Rail in this regard is that relic farming truly sucks in this game, more so than any other game with similar RNG gear mechanics, because you truly have to invest in a character to max out their build. And maxed out builds are basically the standards asked from you in the endgame content to clear in a reasonable amount of time. That may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's definitely something to be wary of.
Nowadays, he ain't lying. I'm gonna be honest. He ain't lying, bro. You go in with a busted build and last MOC, you're getting clapped, or you ain't getting there in time.
F2P players may want to split their resources, and in a game like HSR,
like I should know, I got so many busted builds, bro. It don't work. It don't.
It's definitely a lot harder to do. So while Honkai Star Rail passes in all of these categories, the endgame.
This little chibi. Man, I tell you, bro, I missed her once, and now all the teams want her. Like, what type of sense does...
Accessibility category is where it fails horribly. Okay. Like you probably know, power creep is the biggest monetization model for this game, with units quickly becoming much less powerful as they once were when they came out in just a couple patches. Herda is already T0.5 and Acheron is already T1. Even if they have buffed a few units, it's still nowhere near enough. Characters in Honkai Star Rail also need incredibly high invested teams to function properly. Some characters, even some of the new buffed ones like Blade, require multiple 5-star characters to work.
See what I'm saying? It's always that Treeby, bro. Like she's in every goddamn team, and then I want to use Casterus. Oh yeah, guess what? You know what's better? You know what? Oh yeah, higher say. I was like, oh, maybe she ain't gonna be that useful. I got whatever the hell his name is, but oh no, I was wrong.
Other characters like Mighty and Iglea also have a bulk of their strength in Constellation.
We don't even talk about them.
And light codes. It's a classic case of a greedy endgaming character kit system, which is the only reason HSR is not at the top in terms of F2P friendliness. Investments aren't stable and have a pretty high barrier of entry. 4-star units are also non-existent in the recent updates. So with all of that in mind, I'll give Honkai Star Rail a 6 out of 10. And in terms of...
I will give Genshin one thing. At least they bring out more 4-star units than Honkai Star Rail. I'm gonna be honest.
F2P player friendliness. It's not the best and not the worst, but I have seen a pretty decent 50-50 split of people either complaining about the game being super hard as an F2P player, and others saying that even as an F2P player, they are clearing all the content.
I wouldn't know, to be honest. Like let's be real. My account started out as a paid account, bro. Like I pay to win. I used to pay to win in the game, and then I just realized that why am I doing this? Like literally, I got an E6 Sparkle.
On paper though, Honkai Star Rail is pretty F2P unfriendly because of all the power creep. Wuthering Waves is up next. A lot of people would consider it pretty F2P friendly, but I have a few reasons on why it's not higher on the list. It's got just...
I'm be honest, it's not F2P friendly because, in my opinion, I will always say this. I've been saying this since day one. I think that the Pokemon thing should be out of the game.
System is pretty good, with a 0.8% chance for 5 stars, 80 pity for characters with a 50-50, and 80 pity for weapons while having a 100% guarantee to get the weapon you want. I personally see no flaws in the gacha system here, since I do actually think that 50-50s have a role in getting important standard banner units in gacha games.
I think 50-50 should be exterminated, because every time I do a 50-50, 9% of the time I lose. I either get Encore or whatever the hell her name is that just popped up on the screen.
If the game does not supply enough standard pulls, but whether or not you actually want standard banner units in Wuthering Waves itself is a different topic. Answer is you probably don't, and especially because you can't choose the character you lose to, but that has more to do with the state of the game rather than the gacha system.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of which, the state of Wuthering Waves is pretty good. While there was a power creep controversy concerning Zania a while ago, and while it could become a concern in the future, right now it's not that bad.
It's power creep in the game. Everyone knows that it's power creep in the game. I don't know why people trying to act like they do. Oh, actually, they did it, bro. They're power creep in the game. They're doing it. It's just that they're going to do it slowly with a little rose on top, so that way you don't realize, like, because they don't want to just already do it like Genshin. Like, I'll be honest, Genshin just said after we ball, and they just been shooting them power creep shots like it ain't nothing. But Wuthering Waves is like playing like, you know, a little keep away, like, oh my gosh, you know, they dodging, they trying to dodge, but they still going to that touchdown.
However, characters are increasingly becoming more and more reliant on each other, which is another issue, like Zanny with Phoebe and Furlova with Canturella and Rocha. Furlova even heavily benefits from her weapon, getting more than a 40% increase of damage from it. It's definitely pretty predatory and F2P unfriendly. Although,
like I said, they're going down the route. Like, people thought that they was going to be just like free-to-play awesome game forever. Bro, y'all don't know what they got. Bro, they was good. They still are better than the other two, but I knew that they were going to go down the route the other two went down at some point, because they're going to realize this makes more money. We should do this then. It's pretty simple.
The game is still definitely way more skill-based rather than relic lock or gacha-based like a game like Honkai Star Rail is. So bidding the content relies a whole lot on you, and dungeon mains certainly constantly prove that. This also ties into the player maintenance we talked about earlier in HSR. In Wuthering Waves, it's also very simple to farm your daily quests and events, but since it's an exploration game, that can take up some of your time. Echo farming can also take a while, but splitting your...
I will forever hate echo farming. I'm so happy that they add the things where you could just pick the echoes now. But, like, you know, I still stand by that. That should never been added in the game in the first place.
Resources in this game is much easier to do, since high echo investments matters much less than...
I'll be honest, I say I'd rather have the TV system than the echo one. I'll be real. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And how you play. In this example on screen right now, shout out to Mixed in the Express Rain Discord server for the footage, by the way, a high investment brand was able to beat this boss in 1 minute and 10 seconds, and a low investment brand was, almost, able to beat this boss in around 1 minute and 30 seconds, so again, it relies a whole lot on you more than your echo luck, so it's a much better situation.
Yeah, I can't beat somebody because I ain't good at dodging.
Than HSR or Genshin, but not as good of a situation as the games further up on the list. When it comes to dev generosity, Wuthering Waves excels here, giving out a few freebies, but also definitely missing that free 5-star during the anniversary. You can get around 100 to 130 pulls per patch, but the reduced pity and increased 5-star chance means that it's a slightly lower requirement than Hoyo games, but only by 10 pulls, so at 160 pulls to truly guarantee a 5-star, 1.25 patches should be enough. Again, let's stick to guarantees here, although one thing to note is that realistically, Hoyo has soft pity systems, while Wuthering Waves players still haven't noticed one yet, and even though
there's not one, bro. I'm gonna be honest, like, bro, you get the 70 and you still going up on that hill. You get the 60, you're definitely still going up on that hill, but like,
we are sticking to guarantees, that is definitely something to note. So in the end, I'll give Wuthering Waves a 7 out of 10 on the F2P friendliness scale.
No, make that
Next up, we've got Zenless Zone Zero to complete the trifecta of Hoyo games. Honkai.
Okay, I'll be honest, I'm surprised ZZ is on the top of like the other ones. I'm gonna be real.
Back there in Tears of
Tears of Thermos. I kind of want to play it to see like what it's all about.
Themes don't exist. Zenless Zone Zero is incredibly similar to Honkai Star Rail in many ways. The gacha system is basically an exact copy, with one key difference being that 5-star weapons have a 1% chance of dropping instead of 0.8% like in Honkai Star Rail. Other than that, they're basically the exact same. Developer generosity is a tiny bit less in Zenless Zone Zero, since they are yet to give as many freebies as Honkai Star Rail has.
I mean, it's like their generosity for developers is a tiny bit less, but at the same time, they have a lot more events. I think that's why they do less, because they have a lot more events. So they're like, well, people can get a lot more gems from this stuff, so why would we give them out? Type thing. I wish it was both, but you know, whatever.
But that is mostly probably because Zenless Zone Zero is just younger. You should note that Zenless Zone Zero has broken the first anniversary curse and given out a free 5-star during the first anniversary. They give out the same.
It wasn't that hard, guys. Like, you see how easy it is. I'm looking at you, Wu-Wang, and Genshin. Oh my gosh, we ain't gonna talk about Genshin. And then also Honkai.
Same amount of gameplay and mail rewards otherwise, so again, incredibly similar to Honkai Star Rail. It's also very quick to get done with your dailies in Zenless Zone Zero, taking less than 10 minutes every single day.
Less than 10? Bro, that joint takes about like 2 minutes tops, bro. You usually just click coffee, click do this one thing, and then click, and then you do that one thing, and you're done. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm done. All right, then. I think it's coffee. Open up the bookstore and like talk to the dog or at the stand, and you're done. You're done with your daily.
As well as every other piece of
Plus, all we just talking about like the actual just like the daily stuff.
Content that has to do with player maintenance, like events and such, being very accessible. Where ZZZ and HSR start to really stray away from each other is endgame accessibility. We already know HSR's endgame situation is a shitfest cluster of power creep and HP inflation, while Endless Zone Zero has very little of both.
I'll be honest, very little to a point, bro. Them youngest are getting stronger. I can feel it. Even I can feel it with Miyabi, bro. Oh my god.
LB power crept Ellen once, sure. Then Ellen was buffed in the first anniversary, and no other example of strong power creep happened since. There are still definitely top characters and bottom characters, like Jane being top and me being bottom. Like Miyabi and Yishuan at the top of every tier list, and Ellen still being at only T1. And even Jane being called one of the worst characters, you can still get pretty reliable clears with basically anyone, so power creep is completely not an issue in Zenless Zone Zero, and so is HP inflation. Overall, I would give Zenless Zone Zero's F2P friendliness a 7.5 out of 10. The Battle Cats is
only one I care for, ZZZ. Let's see what the rest of these are.
One of the best gacha games of all time, in my opinion. Some of the best challenging content available, while also being pretty damn F2P friendly. Its gacha system may seem pretty daunting and bad at first, with legendary units over 6 stars having a 0.3% chance to drop without even a pity system, which is even worse than Dragon Ball Legends' Ultra units. But there are a few redeeming points, the first of which being a number of double rate events for both 5-star and 6-star units, as well as the ability to track your future pulls, meaning if you do it correctly, you will never lose. Also, even if you are never lucky enough to get a legend rare unit, they're actually pretty mid most of the time, with so many uber rare units outshining them, and even then, uber rare units aren't needed in beating the game, since super rare, rare, and unlockable units are so damn good. Now this means that it's still harder for collectors, but that's such a small amount of Battle Cats' player base because of the type of game that it is, so for most F2P players it's a really good game. Especially because player maintenance in this game is incredibly simple. There's very little FOMO, even though stuff is pretty time-gated. It's just that most stages that advance your account are based on a monthly calendar, so if you miss one, just wait until next month. Now, there isn't an RNG gear system, but building characters alone is pretty damn challenging, so I think that these two balance each other out. But I will take guaranteed upgrades any day over RNG. Developer generosity is a little questionable besides events in the late game, but in the early game, which is basically the only time when you will need pulls in Battle Cats, you get an insane amount of cat food from clearing stages. Finally, while there is power creep with strong and weak units, it doesn't matter at all in Battle Cats. Every single unit has a use in this game. Calling anybody, except Matador Cat probably, useless in this game is a huge overstatement. Every single unit you get is an upgrade, endgame accessibility is amazing in this game, so with a gacha system you can track your pulls in, decent generosity in the early game, incredibly accessible and fun player maintenance, as well as great endgame accessibility, Battle Cats gets an 8 out of 10. Would have got more if it wasn't for the gacha system still being a little unfair even if you can track your pulls, and because once you get past the early and mid game, the amount of cat food you get slows down. The next game is Punishing Grey Raven, Kuro Games' true passion project before Wuthering Waves. This game is incredibly F2P friendly, and first and foremost because of a great gacha system. Limited 5-star units drop at a rate of 1.5% with 60 pity and no 50-50. Weapons drop at a 4% chance and 30 pity with an 80-20 system.
You know, I forget how generous this game is sometimes. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't even play it anymore. I'll be real.
I don't know why they would not have a 50-50 for characters, but then an 80-20 for weapons, but it's still an insane gacha system nonetheless. There are also pets, otherwise known inside the game as cubs, which are guaranteed at 20 pity. Endgame is mostly skill-based, just like Wuthering Waves, so being skilled enough is the bar. Power creep does exist in PGR.
I just can't get into like how to play like this game on PC. Maybe if I get a new mouse where that has like the numbers on the side, then maybe. But till then, I can't do it. I can't do it.
But it's very manageable. I think that's also the route they're going to go with Wuthering Waves later on. Basically, all units can clear content with enough skill, so it won't be an issue. Now, the devs are pretty generous, especially right now when the global version of PGR is trying to catch up with CN by updating twice, sometimes 3 times as fast. With the reported average amount of currency per patch being 7,500 black cards, which is around 30 pulls, when merged, that doubles and triples sometimes, but with the normal schedule you can guarantee a 5-star once every 2 patches, not considering freebies. Anniversaries, collabs, and other special patches contain quite a lot of rewards as well. Many A rank and S rank units or 4 and 5 stars are also given out for free, And when it comes to player maintenance, you can expect to grind out for 30 to 45 minutes daily for maximum account optimization, which is definitely not the best, but people already do that in games like Wuthering Waves and Genshin. Games like HSR and ZZZ are much easier to maintain daily, so with very generous devs that give out a lot of freebies and rewards, endgame accessibility that relies on skill, where power creep is also very manageable, a very great gacha system and ratio with the amount of pulls you get per patch, with pretty easy player maintenance but dailies taking a tiny bit longer than some games, Punishing Grey Raven is going to get an 8.5 out of 10.
I think it should be a 7.5, me personally, because like it takes forever for free-to-play players. But
if you're planning on playing it, play it now to capitalize upon the patch merging going on.
I may do it though.
Finally, the most F2P friendly game on the list is here. I wanted to talk about
Arknight.
so many other games like Limbus Company and Reverse 1999, who I know are both pretty F2P friendly, but since I'm running out of time, I'll add them in as honorable mention.
You know what we actually should have talked about? That you should subscribe to GBS Playz on all platforms. GBS_Playz on all platforms, especially Twitch and Tech. Okay, thank you.
Just to get the sleeper agents for both games up and awake. The most F2P friendly gacha game on the list is Arknight. I've always said it's one of the best gacha games, and its F2P friendliness is part of the reason why. Without saying much, I've seen many players say they've got every single unit in the game without even spending money, and while others say they tried and weren't able to, the fact that that is possible is a testament in and of itself. The reason people can't get every unit is because the game actually has a 50-50 without a guarantee, and while that sounds bad, you get 6-star units pretty frequently. Arknight's devs built a pretty good reputation upon being generous, so much so that so many of their patches feel so special that when an anniversary patch comes around, players are usually confused because it's just as special as any other patch. So, including this non-guaranteed 50-50 system, 6-star units in Arknight have a 2% chance of dropping with 50 soft pity, with each roll after 50 increasing the chance by 2%. Realistically and mathematically, you won't go much further than something like 60, and you can expect to get around 60 to 70 pulls every month in this game, basically guaranteeing a 6-star every patch. There are also other special pity systems included, like a chance for getting a 5-star in the first temple that may also turn into a 6-star. Basically, it's an incredibly generous gacha system. The only thing holding it back is the 50-50 thing never being guaranteed. However, like we said, so many players have every single unit in the game, and to those who don't, it's unfortunately just a luck issue.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's just luck at that point.
There's also a system that allows you to get characters without using gacha at all. Endgame accessibility in this game is also great, and while there is a small amount of power creep, it's pretty hard to notice, as not only are 6-star units still close in power to each other, try as you might, you will find it hard to find a unit that's actually useless. Let me put it this way, in a game like Honkai Starwell and Genshin Impact...
Actually, it's so true, and I'm noticing that now. Like, bro, a 2-star unit, like a 2-star shielder is better than a 3-star shielder for me. Like, this certain 2-star shielder. And also, this like, range one, because I've been playing the game, right? The range one that slows people down, she's a 2-star, I think. And she's a 2 or 3-star, one of them. I can't remember which one. But like, she is more useful than like one of my 4 or 5-star rangers, bro, because she slows them down. So that way my 4 or 5-star rangers can do more damage to them while they're still in the vicinity of them walking past. And I'm like, bro, I got so used to, oh, if it's not a 5-star, if it's not a 6-star, then it's garbage, bro. That game, it ain't no such thing.
Calling a unit useless would many times be an understatement, but in a game like Arknight, calling a unit useless is most times an overstatement, so you can use everybody somewhat and find them useful. Still, all of that does not matter because it is entirely possible to get all units in the game. When it comes to player maintenance, Arknight doesn't actually have an RNG gear system, which I do really love, so it's automatically easier and better than so many games. Dailies are pretty easy to finish up as well, taking as little as 5 to 10 minutes if you're efficient. Finishing up all the challenges in the game, though, may prove to be a challenge, because there's such a huge amount of them. However, simply building up your account and characters is incredibly easy with how many resources are available, so with very little power creep that has very little effect on the game, with some units already getting buffed with modules to become even more competitive, with most units in the game not only being very accessible but also having at least a few uses, with easy player maintenance and a gacha system that is probably one of the best of all time, minus that never guaranteed 50-50, Arknight is one of the most F2P friendly games I've ever seen. Although that 50-50 system is still really shit, so I can't give it the full 10 out of 10, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10 instead. And that's it. It's been an incredibly long video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know what other games you would put on this list and how you would rate them. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Train Discord server.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, W video, man, again, bro. I know I reacted to him before, W video. I ain't gonna lie, W mans. Anyway, Moose on caffeine, by the way. But, by the way, To be honest, I think me personally, the ZZZ one I agree with. Arknights I agree with. Genshin I agree with. I'll be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I think Genshin should be lower than Dokkan. No, I was playing. It was alright. It was alright. Wuthering Waves. Honkai Star Real. I mean, to be honest, let's be real, right? Let's be real. Like, if I'm taking my bias glasses off, I can see what he means. I can see what he means. But anyway, other than that, make sure you guys follow me. Follow him, bro. Follow, like the video, the original video. Also, follow me on all platforms, bro. Follow me on Twitch, GBS_Playz. Follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that button and like. Also, guess what, guys? One more thing. Channel membership, bro. If y'all want to help me out, channel membership is a thing. Or you can go sub on Twitch, whichever one. It doesn't really matter to me. But like it would actually help out a lot. Like, I'm trying to make this a full-time thing, and to be able to do that, I'm gonna need y'all help. I mean, let's be real. Like, I'm gonna be real, bro. YouTube don't pay that much. Anyway, other than that, I love you guys, and peace out.